brutal truth. Once older women turn 80, these 5 things happen, whether you like it or not. Ladies, this message is specifically for you. If you are approaching your 80th birthday or have already embraced that significant phase of life, crossing this important milestone initiates a series of changes, 5 in particular, that will inevitably affect your body, your mind, and your daily existence. These transformations are a natural part of the aging process, and they will occur regardless of your personal preferences or preparedness. While the prospect of discussing such profound shifts might initially sound daunting or even unsettling, it is crucial to understand that many older women find themselves unprepared for these changes, often caught by surprise. The reality is that these are not typically topics discussed by your doctor during routine appointments, nor are they common conversation starters at family gatherings. You are unlikely to find comprehensive warnings about them in glossy health magazines. Instead, these changes tend to creep up subtly, almost imperceptibly, until one day you awaken to the undeniable realization, my goodness, this is truly happening to me. This is precisely why it is vital to address these realities openly. This discussion is not rooted in fear or a desire to paint a grim picture. Rather, it is about embracing truth, the kind of truth that empowers and liberates. When you are aware of what lies ahead, you are equipped to prepare, to face challenges head-on, and to maintain a sense of control over your cherished later years. For those who may not yet be familiar with me, I am Lady Karen, the creator of Insightful Senior. My platform is dedicated to offering candid and practical guidance for women like you. Women who aspire to live healthier, safer, and more confident lives as they navigate their elder years. I want to emphasize that today's video is one you absolutely cannot afford to miss. The 5 transformations I will be discussing are not speculative. They are guaranteed to manifest once you reach the age of 80. Some are predominantly physical, others are emotional, and one in particular, the final one I will reveal, may well come as a genuine shock. It is a change that almost every woman experiences, but very few anticipate. Yet, its impact is deeply felt once it arrives. Therefore, I urge you to stay with me until the very end, as I am confident that the insights shared today will profoundly reshape your perspective on the years to come. Before we delve into the core of this discussion, I have a small yet significant request. Please take a moment to click the like button. This simple action plays a crucial role in helping YouTube's algorithm identify this video and present it to more senior ladies who could greatly benefit from its content. I can assure you that somewhere right now, a woman is sitting at home feeling isolated, bewildered, and perhaps even apprehensive about the changes she is undergoing. Your single click has the potential to be the very catalyst that delivers this message to her, offering much-needed comfort and understanding. Furthermore, I would be honored to hear your thoughts and experiences in the comments section below. If you are over 80, what has been the most surprising aspect of aging for you? Was it a physical change, an emotional one, or perhaps something that no one ever forewarned you about? Sharing your personal narrative is invaluable, as I personally read every single comment, and your words may very well be precisely what another woman needs to hear today. Now, let us address these 5 often unspoken truths, which I refer to as brutal, not to induce fear, but to underscore their honesty. Sometimes the unvarnished truth can be a little stinging, but ultimately it is the truth that sets us free. The first undeniable bitty shift is a decline in physical energy. Even if you maintain excellent health, you will likely notice that fatigue descends more swiftly than it once did. Tasks that you could effortlessly accomplish in a morning might now necessitate your entire day. A simple trip to the grocery store might feel akin to running a small marathon, and standing at the stove to prepare a full meal could leave you feeling ready for a long nap. This is not a reflection of weakness, but rather a biological reality. Your body's capacity for rapid recovery diminishes, and your energy reserves naturally run at a lower capacity compared to when you were in your 60s or 70s. The second profound truth pertains to shifts in memory, music, and cognitive function. This is not referring to the onset of dementia, but rather to an increase in everyday forgetfulness that becomes more apparent. You might find yourself misplacing your glasses and then struggling to recall where you left them, or walking into a room with a specific purpose only to momentarily forget why you entered. Names that once sprang instantly to mind might now require a brief pause to surface. While this can be frustrating and at times even a source of embarrassment, it is an intrinsic aspect of the natural cognitive journey that the brain undertakes as we age. The third significant change involves the gradual shrinking of social circles. This is a truth with a deeply emotional dimension. Over the passage of time, friends with whom you have shared decades of your life may pass away. Others may transition into assisted living facilities, or their families might relocate them far from your familiar neighborhood. Even with close family, such as your children and grandchildren, their lives are often filled with the demands of work and raising their own children. Consequently, you might observe a decrease in phone calls, fewer visits, and a noticeable reduction in familiar faces gracing your daily routine. This sense of emptiness and that subsequent adjustment to fewer social interactions represent one of the most challenging aspects that women in their 80s navigate. The fourth truth is an increase in vulnerability encompassing both physical and emotional dimensions. Physically, you may find yourself more susceptible to accidents, falls, minor infections, and unexpected health concerns. However, the impact extends beyond the physical realm. Emotionally, women over 80 are unfortunately primary targets for scammers. These individuals often seek out women who exhibit qualities of trust, kindness, or perhaps a politeness that makes it difficult to hang up the phone. This heightened sense of a vulnerability can be quite disconcerting, as it highlights a perceived shift in how the world views you compared to earlier stages of your life. And finally, we arrive at the fifth truth, perhaps the most poignant and challenging of all, a subtle yet significant shift in identity. For many women who have reached their 80s, a quiet, unspoken sentiment emerges. The feeling of becoming invisible. You might walk into a store and the attendant's gaze seems to pass right over you. At a doctor's office, the conversation might be directed towards your daughter instead of you. Society often has a tendency to overlook older women as if their life stories have already been fully written and concluded. Yet internally, you remain fundamentally yourself. You still possess wisdom, a vibrant spirit, and a wealth of experiences worth sharing, even if the external world no longer consistently acknowledges them. Consider this. At 40, you might have noticed your first gray hairs. By 60, your attention likely turned more towards the care of your joints. But once you cross the threshold of 80, the changes become more pronounced and accelerate at a faster pace. If these shifts are not recognized for what they are, they can indeed catch you completely off guard. This is the fundamental reason for our conversation today, to illuminate these changes so that you can move through these years with open eyes, fully prepared and never fit, feeling blindsided. Having now outlined these 5 undeniable truths, let us explore why they tend to affect women over 80 with a greater intensity than many might realize. These changes do not occur in isolation. Rather, they are influenced by a complex interplay of physical, social, and psychological factors that collectively contribute to the unique challenges of this life stage. From a physical standpoint, your body simply does not possess the same robust strength and resilience it once did. Frailty can become a tangible reality slower. If you were to trip, your ability to catch yourself and prevent a fall is not as instinctive or effective as it once was. Your immune system, the body's natural defense mechanism, experiences a weakening, meaning that even a common cold or a minor infection can incapacitate. Socially, life at 80 presents a markedly different landscape. A significant number of women are living alone, whether by personal choice or due to the loss of a partner. When you reside alone, there is often a greater reliance on caregivers, medical professionals, or even strangers in public spaces for assistance. This dependence can feel uncomfortable and at times places you in situations where others wield more influence than you might prefer. Then there is the psychological dimension. Women who are now in their 80s grew up in a distinct era, a time when a handshake held a profound significance, when promises were honored, and when trust formed the very bedrock of community bonds. While this innate trusting nature is a beautiful quality, it unfortunately renders you more susceptible in today's world. The somber reality is that not everyone approaches interactions with good intentions. Scammers, overzealous salespeople, and even some professionals may perceive seniors as easier to manipulate, taking advantage of their inherent openness and willingness to believe the best in people. Consider the everyday scenarios at the local pharmacy. A minor mix-up with your medications is more likely to go unnoticed, especially when you are managing multiple prescriptions and the packaging labels can appear remarkably similar. Navigating the aisles of the grocery store can feel like an arduous undertaking. Fatigue sets in more rapidly, and the shopping cart might feel less like a convenience and more like a burden. At the doctor's office, the specialized medical terminology can feel like a foreign language. Appointments often proceed at a brisk pace, and before you can fully process the information conveyed, you find yourself leaving with more questions than answers. These accumulated layers, the physical, the social, and the psychological, do more than just explain why the changes experienced after 80 feel more impactful. They illuminate why so many older women feel as though the world is moving at an accelerating pace while they are left striving to keep up. Here's where the situation becomes even more concerning. These changes are not merely inconvenient. They carry a greater degree of danger than might be immediately apparent, primarily because their repercussions can ripple outward in ways that are often unseen until it is too late. Take fatigue, for instance. While it might initially seem like nothing more than feeling slightly more tired than usual, fatigue is a silent precursor to falls, and falls at this age are no longer minor incidents. They are the leading cause of emergency room visits for women over 80. A single misstep, a moment of physical weakness, and suddenly you could be facing broken bones or enduring months of arduous recovery. Then there is the issue of aloneness. On the surface, it might manifest as nothing more than quiet afternoons or solitary evenings. However, loneliness has a more insidious impact. Research consistently demonstrates that it not only increases the risk of depression, but also elevates the likelihood of heart disease, cognitive decline, and even a shortened lifespan. It is not simply a matter of feeling sad. It is a significant health risk that often goes unnoticed, lurking in plain sight. And what about forgetfulness? Misplacing your keys might seem like a trivial matter, but that same forgetfulness can render you an exceptionally vulnerable target for financial scams. Scammers are adept at exploiting confusion, applying pressure, and inducing a sense of urgency. A single moment of distraction, and your life savings can vanish with a swift phone call. Yet perhaps the most disheartening truth of all is that even when adult children reside nearby, many women over 80 continue to feel overlooked. The reason for this is that from an external perspective, you may appear to be managing well, you might be neatly dressed, and you might offer a pleasant smile when they visit. However, what they do not always perceive is the underlying fatigue, the quiet solitude, the unspoken anxieties that you carry within. Consequently, your struggles can be easily dismissed as simply an inevitable part of the aging process. This brings us to a rather uncomfortable but essential question. Are these changes truly unavoidable? Or are we as a society simply allowing them to happen, treating them as insurmountable, when in reality far more could be done to support and safeguard older women? So, what proactive steps can you take? How can you confront these changes without succumbing to feelings of powerlessness? The empowering truth is that you possess far more control than you might currently believe. It is about making small, consistent choices that safeguard your well-being on a daily basis. Let us walk through a few straightforward strategies together. First, consider a simple and cost-effective solution. Invest in a bright nightlight for your bedroom, hallway, or bathroom. This seemingly minor purchase can significantly reduce your risk of a fall during the nighttime hours, which is the primary danger for women over 80. Never underestimate the, if profound, impact of being able to see clearly when you are navigating your home. It is a cornerstone of safety. Second, establish a daily routine for memory support. Make it a habit to jot down your appointments, your medication schedules, and even simple to-do lists, keeping them all in one easily accessible location. Do not rely solely on your memory. A small notebook kept by the telephone or a calendar prominently displayed on the wall can alleviate the mental strain and provide a sense of daily peace. Third, proactively schedule a weekly social check-in. Do not passively wait for your parents, children, or grandchildren to initiate contact. Take the initiative yourself. Reach out to a friend, a neighbor, or someone you trust implicitly. Even better, arrange for a brief in-person visit, perhaps over a shared cup of tea. This consistent social connection serves as a powerful antidote to loneliness. Fourth, diligently protect your financial assets. Scammers are increasingly sophisticated. By prioritizing your personal well-being, you are not only safeguarding your physical health, but also preserving your hard-earned independence. These steps might appear elementary, but when implemented collectively, they form a robust protective shield, enabling you to approach your 80s not with apprehension, but with unwavering confidence. Now, let us be candid. Even with the most diligent habits and the strongest intentions, unforeseen circumstances can do arise. In such moments, your response can make a significant difference. Therefore, here is a straightforward step-by-step emergency action plan. Firstly, if you experience a fall, do not attempt to be stoic and dismiss it. Do not try to tough it out. Immediately call for emergency medical assistance, such as 911 in many regions, and then contact a trusted individual, whether that be a family member, a neighbor, or a close friend. Promptly receiving help can be the critical factor distinguishing between a swift recovery and a prolonged, painful setback. Secondly, if you become a victim of a scam, understand that it can happen with alarming speed and to anyone. The moment you realize you have been defrauded, contact your bank without delay. Request that your accounts be immediately frozen to prevent further financial damage. Subsequently, report the incident to your local law enforcement authorities. You may feel a sense of shame or embarrassment, but do not let those feelings deter you. Scammers are highly skilled professionals, and by reporting their activities, you could potentially prevent someone else from falling prey to the same deception. Thirdly, if feelings of loneliness or depression begin to surface, do not internalize them or keep them bottled up. Speak openly with your doctor, informing them honestly about your emotional state. Numerous programs, senior support groups, and even dedicated hotlines exist specifically to assist older adults. Remember, you are not a burden, and you do not have to bear such emotional weight alone. Fourthly, if you observe a noticeable increase in memory lapses, make a point of documenting them. Keep a small notebook where you record instances of forgetting and the specific details you have missed. Share this information with your family and present it to your doctor at an early stage. The sooner you bring these concerns to light, the greater the range of support and treatment options available. ETU, and here is my most earnest encouragement. Do not be discouraged if the initial response you receive is that these changes are simply normal. You have an inherent right to be heard and understood. You possess an intimate knowledge of your own body that surpasses that of any other individual. If one person fails to listen, persist in articulating your concerns until someone does. Your health, your safety, and your peace of mind are unequivocally worth advocating for. In summation, once a woman enters her 80s, these 5 stark realities begin to manifest. Your physical vitality naturally diminishes. Your memory and ability to focus undergo subtle shifts. Your established social shifts, your established social network may begin to contract. Your overall vulnerability increases. And perhaps most profoundly, your sense of self, your identity may begin to feel as though it is fading from view. These are not illusory changes. They are tangible and can indeed feel overwhelming. However, the encouraging news is that you are not rendered powerless. The majority of these challenges can be effectively managed, their impact lessened, and in some instances, even reversed through increased awareness and the adoption of small, consistent daily practices. Simple actions such as making notes of important information, actively reaching out to friends, remaining vigilant against fraudulent schemes, and ensuring your home is a safe environment all contribute to a greater sense of security. These seemingly minor efforts accumulate to form a substantial layer of protection. And if there is one single action you take today, let it be this. Turn on a nightlight before you go to bed tonight. It may sound incredibly insignificant, but that small glow has the potential to safeguard you from the most prevalent danger faced by women over 80, a fall. A single tiny light can be instrumental in preserving your cherished I. Send dependents before you depart. I would be delighted if you would consider staying connected with me here if you have found this video to be helpful. I encourage you to subscribe to Insightful Senior for more candid and practical discussions surrounding the experience of aging. Please hit that like button to help spread this vital information, as you can never be certain which woman might be desperately in need of this message today. Lastly, I invite you to share in the comments section below what you have found to be the most unexpected change you have encountered since reaching the age of 80. Your personal story has the potential to be precisely what another woman needs to hear for reassurance and guidance. Remember this fundamental truth: you are not invisible, you are not alone, and your most valuable years still hold immense worth, profound meaning, and a wisdom that the world truly needs. Therefore, I urge you to remain strong, stay prepared, and continue to shine your way